Hello there. I want to thank you all for joining me for this episode of Goat Watch. And today, Goat Watch 2020. It's a new year. And we had a goat sighting at the Oscars of all places. Did not expect that to happen. A goat appeared on stage. He came from out in the middle of the stage. He ascended like some type of deity and proceeded to perform one of his best songs ever, and Lose Yourself. And of course, that goat is Eminem, Marshall Mathers, Slim Shady, B Rabbit was at the Oscars, and everybody gave him the respect he so rightfully deserves by standing up and giving him a standing ovation, which I believe was the only one of the night that was performance related that wasn't an Oscar win from any of the nominees. And I think it just puts a lot of things into perspective to see just how far Eminem has come and to appreciate greatness in the moment. None of this wait till something bad happens to them and then we go through peruse their catalog and talk about, oh, they were so great, they were so special, they were so unique. We need to start doing that more now, especially after Kobe's tragic passing. It's just really recognize the amount of genius that goes into longevity. He's almost 50 and he has the record, I believe he's the only artist in music history to have consecutive debut #1 albums, and I think he has 10. I can't remember the exact figure. Him and Kanye were tied for a second, but now he has it again. And I think he's the first now, since it's a milestone. He's the singular act to do so. And I think that's also his first time he's been at the Oscars. Even when he was nominated, he didn't show up because I believe he famously said he didn't think he would win. And I mean, I can't blame him, especially back then when 8 Mile came out in 2003. Hip hop was still it still was thrown on the back burner. It still is now, but nowhere to the same extent that it used to be. And he's like, I'm not going to show up. He just spent time at home with his daughters. It was real nice. Then they told him he won. It's like, oh, it's nice. But everyone was just like, yeah, you see older people, you see directors, you see producers, Hollywood royalty type people. They're like, yeah, more of that. Yeah, give me more of that. I mean, and I think it's more than the fact that he's white. I do believe that helped. That's what, like you said, let's be honest, if I was black, I would have sold half. I didn't have to go to Lincoln High School to know that or something. But when your music hits a certain level, and you're as prevalent as you are, I believe that there's no barrier. It will transcend whichever race you particularly inhabit. People will find a way to listen and people will appreciate that. I do believe him being white helped, but I think one of the biggest reasons for hip hop being where it is now is because of him, because he was the gateway rapper for a lot of people who were suburbanized and stuff and everything, and then they started listening to other people. Dr. Dre co-signing him gave him legitimacy towards a bunch of other rappers who, time they saw him and he's white, they're all like, I don't know but then they see Dr. Dre behind him, like, he must be good, because Dre doesn't just sign anyone. And especially him coming out with that new album, the Music to Be Murdered By, the man still has it. He is still technically as proficient, better than he's ever been. He may not flow the exact same way. He does chop things up, but it's like he has so much to say. He's doing so much at one time. And it's just, he just unloads. He's a volcano of lyricism. So I do think, yes, he's one of the few people that I can look at. He's gotten better. Technically, he's gotten better. Technically and wordsmith-wise. Musically, I think he may have regressed a little bit, just because, I mean, I wouldn't put it past anyone to regress because of the shape of the music industry and how it's changed so much with streaming and the antics people do to sell music now. Instead of actually focusing on making the music good, they go and just do some tomfoolery on Snap or tomfoolery somewhere so people will buy their music. And I'm like, I've never understood that. If somebody gets in jail for assaulting someone, I'm going to go and buy their album just because maybe they'll talk about it. Like, I don't do that. I don't see the point of it. If any of you do that, I mean, I question your moral fiber, but whatever. It's whatever boats your float, guys. But it was really great performance he did last night. I didn't expect him to be there. They had chopped it up. They showed all the different famous soundtracks that went with movies past, from Titanic, Rocky, to I can't even name them all. It was Titanic, Rocky, and then they had Whitney Houston's song from they had all of them, and then they saved his for the end, and then they were like, sometimes you got to lose yourself in order to find yourself, from this other famous movie. And then he just comes from the stage. Real great. Real great. That made the award show. If nothing else did, that made the award show. So I'm just really happy for him. Still Eminem fan, still always will be. If he makes anything bad, I will say it's bad or I didn't enjoy it, but I'm never gonna not be a fan of his. And I think that's how everybody should take that into consideration. That just because someone makes something bad doesn't mean they've necessarily lost it. It just everyone messes up. Everybody does something different. But I really appreciate him. Really, really appreciate him. And I think everyone else should, while he's here and he's perfectly healthy and everything else. Don't wait until something happens to him. So I want to thank everybody for watching. If you watched the Oscars, tell me. If you heard about the performance or liked the performance, tell me. I'd like to hear what you have to say. I thank you all. Thanks, Slim. I will holler at you later. Video didn't end. Wow, that's embarrassing.